Yes, people. Hope you are all doing well. Welcome back to another stream on the channel. Hope everyone's doing well. We're back with another live stream this morning, and it's Tuesday already. Tuesday morning already. We was meant to be live earlier, but I had to do something, and but yeah, bless up to everybody, man. And we are live. We're going to be reacting to the Arne Slot press conference. What updates he has got to say in today's live. We bless up the chat first of all. Morning to you all. It's about 11:15. Big up to Curtis, lads. Salah going AFCON 15th of December. Yep. It's a good job I actually managed to make this stream because I have got to go to uni for about 12:30 anyway. So yeah, we'll do this stream for you guys for like the next hour. Big up to PL Champs. Hope all is well today, mate. Yeah, bless up to you. Big up to TW. Hope you're well. Yo, big up to my good friend Uncle, man. Guys, make sure you're subscribing to Uncle Rod's. Did a great preview with him yesterday for the Sunderland game. Yeah, he's fully back on YouTube now. It's good to see him, and he's on the road to 6,000. So make sure you're showing him some love. Yeah, bless up to Uncle every single time. But yeah, chat. Hope you're all doing well. Let's react to the Slot press conference. Let's see what the manager's got to say today. We'll make sure you guys can actually all hear this. Let me know if you can hear this, chat. Right. Yes. Okay, good. Good.
Morning. So you're higher this time. Well, morning.
Okay. Arne, I just wonder, how encouraged are you by what you saw at the weekend, thinking in particular Florian and Alexander, and therefore, how tempting is it to go same again? What do you feel you have to rotate?
I haven't felt so much about that because yesterday we had recovery and after this press conference we're going to train. So let's see how players feel. Florian, for example, has missed out 1.5, 2 weeks of training.
I understand. I just feel like with that question, right, with how good Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz have been for us, I'm just looking at it from the perspective of when is going to be the time? When is actually going to be the time where we actually see a bit of fluidity, a bit of the rhythm within our team? Because it just seems to me this season, not only how bad we've been, we've not seen any fluidity in terms of like just not rotating and stuff like that. I want to see my best players play for my club. You get me? So why can't we see a Wirtz Isak again? Because why not? I'm sure, like, everyone at the club would agree, and let all the medical and the scientists, all do their job. But surely we see a world where we do get another 60, 70 minutes of Isak and Florian Wirtz. It works so well. Arne Slot's in a position, guys, where he's got to save his job. Arne Slot has to save his job. His job is fully on the line. And he's got to be doing anything in his power to be able to get results, because if you lose this game, everyone's going to still want you out. Like, no one's changed their mind on the manager from a perspective of, oh, we won against West Ham, that's it, we want you back. No. You have to go and get 3 out of 3 wins. West Ham, Sunderland and Leeds. 9 points from 9 points. and then we go back into the Champions League. But from this little Premier League running period, you have to go and get 999. And if Isak Inverts is going to get you 999, you have to do that. And not only that, you're killing many stones with one stone, because you're going to get rhythm. You're going to get a bit of a connection there because they would have played 3 games together. You know, you've seen how well it worked. And it was the first time this season where we've actually seen them really connected well together. So why not? They're meant to be the 2 players that we brought for the most. £125 million for Isak, 100 million for Florian Wirtz. So if I can't see rhythm and a bit of fluidity between my 2 most expensive players, then what we're doing here?
So for him to already play so many minutes was a good thing, and today's very good play, and Joe Gomez is one of them. So let's see. It was encouraging to see Florian playing that well. It's not the first time he played well for us. Maybe the first time other people noticed.
It was definitely a top 3
times already. And for Alex to score his first goal was also.
It was definitely a top 3 Florian Wirtz performance.
Who couldn't play, I think 5 to 10 more minutes than he played, because he told me yesterday that he felt a little bit of cramp coming up already. So another player where we should.
These bloody ads.
See how he does when he trains today.
I'm assuming though that Mo wasn't happy about being left out. Therefore, what's his reaction been like since? What kind of conversations have you had with him?
No, that's a fair assumption, and that's a normal reaction from a player that's good enough to play for us. And then I say it mildly because he's been so outstanding for this club for so many years, and will be for us in the future. So yeah, of course, a player isn't happy he's not playing. He wasn't the only one who wasn't happy that he wasn't starting. I can tell you, and that's normal. But the way he behaved was as you would expect from a professional he is. But he was very supportive for his teammates. Handled himself really well during the day and yesterday in the session as well. So you cannot be a player that's available every 3 days and play on that high standards if you go with your emotions. But for Mo, he's so disciplined, knows what to do to stay fit, and no matter if he plays well, doesn't play well, if he plays or if he doesn't play, he will always be that top professional, and that's what he was in the last 2 days.
Just check what the plan is for Mo as well. I'm not expecting you to tell me when he's going to be starting again, but I assume you've got a date for him to go to AFCON yet, have you, or have you not got?
Yeah, we have. I think is it FIFA who does this? I don't know exactly, but it's the 15th of.
So it's confirmed that he is going on the 15th. So let's actually have a quick look. How many games have we got between now and the 15th? So we've got Sunderland. So Mo Salah will be available for Sunderland, Leeds, Inter, Brighton. They're the games. So 4 more games. And then I think he will miss. This might be the most amount he's ever missed, you know. So he's going to miss Tottenham, Wolves, Leeds, Fulham, Arsenal. Also an FA Cup game in there. And also, depending on how far Egypt go, he could potentially miss Burnley. But if you look at that in hindsight, he's missing, 5 games? I'm sorry, but I'm expecting Liverpool to at least pull off 4 wins from 5. If we're going to go on some sort of run, I'm expecting results against Wolves. They've not won a game this season. Leeds look like they're about to sat down Mr. Flark. So I'm expecting us to be able to beat Leeds at Anfield. The only game in that fixture list I'm looking at where I'm thinking, is Arsenal. Right? I know we're on terrible form. I know we've not got no confidence to beat anybody as of right now. But if we're going to go on this so-called run, I'm expecting at least 4 wins from 5. While Mo Salah is going to be, away at AFCON.
December. But as always, in these situations, there's a
Big up,
player
mate.
involved, there's the nation involved, Egypt in this situation, in the club, and there are always talks about what is best.
Big up to everybody in the building, man.
football.
Let's try and smash
So,
these likes and subscribe if you
How
can
tough
already
game
and
you're
done so.
facing now against Sunderland?
Tough.
Just three defeats in the Premier League this season, and I suppose the surprise package in many ways in the Premier League so far this campaign.
Yeah, a big compliment for the manager because they brought in a lot of new players and they started off so well. I saw the game Chelsea against Arsenal on our way back home. Very high standard game. Two teams that were fighting each other, working so hard, all the players on the pitch. And then I was aware of the fact that Sunderland was the team that beat Chelsea in their stadium and had a draw against Arsenal. So you can look at the league table by looking at them, how good they have done till now. But after that game, knowing that Sunderland is a team that beat Chelsea and had a draw against Arsenal, tells you how strong they must be.
They seem to have a great resilience as well, don't they? I think they showed that against Bournemouth when they went to look down and then went all the way to the whistle. That's going to be a big factor, I suppose, as well, isn't it?
Yeah, another game where set piece was also very important for them in this situation.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can.
Bloody ads.
So yeah, they've shown great mentality, but not only great mentality, the style they play, the risk they take when they don't have the ball, very high pace game. Players are working so hard, all 11 of them, to get a result.
And that's why it's going to be a
also,
difficult game. Someone asked me in the chat, do you think he beats Sunderland? I mean, it is going to be a difficult game. You know, Sunderland have many ways of playing football. They can make it physical. They can actually play ball. You know, they're set up in different types of formations. And they signed some great players in the summer who's done a real good job for them. And that there's a reason as to why they're up there. You know, the fans are getting behind the team. You know, it's the first time being back in the Premier League in such a long time. So there's always going to enjoy the occasion. There's always going to enjoy this. What's the word? Honeymoon period. You know, I felt like Sunderland was always going to do well when they came back to the Premiership, hence why I predicted them to stay up. I didn't think they'd do as well. However, fair play to them because they've done really well. They've done brilliantly. And, I mean, look, so far as of right now, you know, they're competing for a European place. This is a 6 pointer, and I think Arne Slot knows that. He can't allow someone like a Sunderland to get at least 4 points on him. Just can't allow him. Sorry.
And if you play Chelsea, Arsenal, you don't do this with 11. You have no chance of winning. So that's why they must be a team that does this. And that's what I saw when I looked them yesterday, and I'm going to watch more of them today. So a very hard-working team with also a very clear identity how they want to play off the ball and on the ball.
And just to come back to something that you've mentioned about Mo, if I may, then, which essentially, I suppose, he plays like he's superhuman, but the reality is he is a human being. Do we have to remember that sometimes?
Fortunately, for the time I've been here, I didn't have to remember you to that because he's been a superhuman being, or what was your words? A superhuman being. But as all players around the world, there are also faces in your time at the club that you are human, is the way you put it. And but yeah, he scored so many goals for us, and I'm sure he will in the future.
Thank you.
Carl?
Can I just clarify the 15th December date? Is that negotiable? You were suggesting there may be some movement around that, possible movement around that?
I think the way we've worked at this club, and I've worked in the past, is always that there is a communication between all three: the player, the club, and the country. So that's nothing new. That's always the same. Also, when they come back, when they go. So, but I think, is it FIFA? What it is? FIFA. Yeah. They've said the 15 is the last date, I assume, a player has to be released.
So would that mean, even if it wasn't any negotiation, if you're available for Brighton and then go, or would he go before the Brighton game?
What is the date we play Brighton? Is 15 the day?
13.
No, there's your answer then. Yeah.
Can I just check as well then, you touched already the likes of Isaac, Wirtz and Gomez and their fitness status. I presume is it not possible for them to play 3 games a week? And if that is the case, then you have to make a decision on which game they out of the next 2 they play.
I think they're not able to play 3 times 90.
Get rewarded for using energy.
These adverts, man. Blessings to everybody in the chat though while we're waiting for the adverts to run. I will catch up with the chat shortly. Just waiting for these ads to have stopped. A couple more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let me listen back to that question.
Already, the likes of Isaac.
15 the day?
13.
No, there's your answer then. Yeah.
Can I just check as well then, you touched already the likes of Isaac, Wirtz and Gomez and their fitness status. I presume is it not possible for them to play 3 games a week? And if that is the case, then you have to make a decision on which game they out of the next 2 they play.
I think they're not able to play 3 times 90.
Okay, so if they're not able to play 3 times 90, Slot, my counter question to you is, can they play 3 times 60 or 70? Because you say they can't play 3 times 90. Okay, that's what you've been told by everybody, and we obviously trust the doctors and the scientists at the club. However, my counter question would be actually there'd be 2 counter questions. When can they play 3 times 90, and what can they do right now? Because Isaac came off at 66, Florian Wirtz came off, I believe, in this around between the 70 and the 80 minute mark. So, how long until they can go 390s? Because I think that's a very interesting. Like, I'm not expecting him to go 390, but I'm expecting to see Isaac again for another 70 minutes. Which I don't mind, because if it means Ekatike is coming off the bench, it's not like we're bringing on some scrub. We're bringing on a good striker who's been very good for this season. However, do I think he's been good in the past 6, 7, 8 games? No. But that's a chance for him now to play into his form. And I'm very intrigued to watch Ekatike, because he looks like he's, got a bit of an ego about him, a bit of a confidence about him, where he thrives off the pressure. When he took off the shirt against Southampton, I believe, when Isaac scoring the first goal, he saw that and he was like, yeah, I've got to compete with a big dog here. So I feel like he does thrive off that, and I'm hoping to see that from him when he comes. If he is on the bench for Sunderland, and he comes off the bench for the game.
That's for sure. And now I have to wait and see how they feel today, if they're able to play tomorrow from the start again. But that all 3 of them can be involved in all 3 games. If they don't get an injury, that's a fair assumption to make.
Arne, just with more in mind again, is there sort of an indication from your end that the next week or so you could perhaps try out a few things to see how the team copes with that more?
No, I think in a few weeks he's already at the African Cup of Nations. So we have to find then a way to play without him, because he's not there. That's true. Yeah.
And just another one really. So BBC's been looking at the issue of online abuse in football. In one weekend at the start of November, the research showed that you were one of the most abused coaches online, and that managers were more likely to abuse than players. So just really, how do you feel about that, and what more needs to be done to eradicate that?
That was probably not after a win, was it?
It was after the City.
After the City game. Oh, maybe I expected it more after the Forest game. But think it's abuse is never a good thing. Not so if it's about me, if it's about players, if it's about other managers. That we are criticized, that's completely normal. Even if we are winning, I think this happens. But if it starts with abuse, it's not a good thing. But I am not a social media person. I don't have a social media, so I'm not aware of it. But I'm not stupid. I know it's there. I would be the first manager.
Obviously, Slot knows like he's definitely been getting abuse because he spoke about in his press conference that, you know, listening to the outside world, playing Gomez, play Chiesa, play these sort of players, etc., play this sort of formation. So he knows what the outside world is. He would have a social media team. Every manager and player has a social media team and an accountant, just overall manager and stuff like that. He will know what has been said. 110%. 1000%, because Arne's not just some king. Like, Arne's Slot will bump into people in Liverpool. He will bump into people around the building, and he will be hearing people saying stuff about him. I don't think he's clueless in that sense.
No, not in history, because it's only recently that managers get abuse online. That if you start to lose, you're aware of the fact that people are not happy with you. But abuse is definitely not a good thing. But
look, we never condone abuse. You know, people being racists, you know, all that sort of thing. We never condone that here on this channel, and so, you know, fair play.
this is what I feel is the support the fans give me in the stadium, because even at 0-0, the fans were singing for the team, but also for me. So that's the support I feel. But I'm not surprised that after our results that there's abuse. But that's in general. That's
Big up to everybody, man.
should not happen,
13 of you in the building.
does.
Let's slap these likes if you can.
About Joe, because he's had such a tough time over the past few years with injuries and things like that, and maybe a little bit unlucky, but comes in on Sunday and doesn't put the wrong. How important is it to have not just a player like that, but a character who can come in and do that kind of job for you?
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a
Bloody ads.
Yeah, it's a skill set he has that after a long time not playing, you can play him again and he just performs as he did before that. And that's something that's not easy, because I've worked with more than a few players that after a certain amount of time without playing, it's difficult for them to get to a certain standard again. So it's definitely one of his skill sets. I also think it was really helpful for him that Dominic Szoboszlai helped him out a lot. Because, like you said, Joe did really well, but he got a lot of help from Dominic as well.
Hi, Arne. You mentioned there about the support from the crowd in the game against West Ham. I want to think about the last time Liverpool were at home, particularly speaking about fast starts that we did last time a couple of weeks ago. There was that moment in the very first minute against PSV where Mamardashvili kind of held the ball for 20 minutes. You felt the crowd getting a little bit agitated. Against a team like Sunderland, who are going to be...
And that's why I came at the manager, because this manager said that we don't time waste. Well, we kind of clearly did, because Mamardashvili was holding on to the ball, not thinking what to do, literally just standing there, you know, with the ball messing about. So we do actually time waste, and this is why sometimes I do come at the manager when it comes to the press conferences. So far, we are 11 minutes and 19 seconds in. It's not been the best press conference, but it's not been the worst press conference.
Aggressive and they're pressing quite high.
But yeah, we'll see what else has been got to say.
How important do you think it is to try and set the tone with how you play, to try and get that atmosphere going and get everybody on side?
No, that's always important. By the way, in that situation, PSV was also pressing us high, but where PSV normally jumps to the goalkeeper and we can make a triangle. This time they didn't, and I think Georgie was prepared for someone that jumped to him. And that's why he waited a little bit longer than usually to find an option. I think there was only one moment, but it's never helpful. Sunderland are a similar team than PSV was in that moment for the rest of the game. I think PSV was in a low block, which we didn't expect them to be, but which they did. But Sunderland combines both, so they are either pressing you really high or 11 players defend in and around their 16 with all they have, and that's why they are such a difficult team to
You got
play
to
against.
QT mods that if you will, my brother.
Yeah, it's in general, it's important to start a game of football well, ideally, even by scoring a goal. But yeah, that's what both teams want, and we are going to try that tomorrow, better than we did recently, because recently, except for the West Ham game, we've conceded in the start of the game.
James? Arne, can I just check on Conor Bradley and Jeremy Frimpong, where they up to with their rehab?
Conor got into a training session yesterday for the first time.
Okay.
Team training, yeah. How do you say this? Not everything 100% yet, so we had to manage that a little bit. So don't get your hopes up too soon, too fast. But the good thing is that he does certain parts with the group already, and we expect the same with Jeremy next week. So the two of them come back, but unfortunately, we play a lot of games in the upcoming. So Jeremy, if he's training with us next week, he will miss out on 3 more games, for example.
So the manager did confirm that Bradley is somewhat back in training. He also confirmed hopeful for Frimpong back in training next week. I said this, I think they'll be back around that Christmas period, probably around the Spurs-Wolves game, I think, is when you'll see. It depends really on how the rehab goes, because obviously then they're going to want to have a couple of training sessions under their belts before playing. However, I look at it from a perspective of, don't need to rush them back. We've got Joe Gomez doing really well for us now. I personally wouldn't rush them back because, look, worst comes to worst, we will have to revert back to type. If Gomez wants to get injured with the Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai rotation in between games, but I think Liverpool will be ultimately just fine, in my opinion, from now until they're back. I mean, if we look at our fixtures, Sunderland obviously not going to play. Leeds, Inter, maybe one of them could be on the bench for Inter. We'll see. I think you're looking at between the Brighton, Spurs, and Wolves for when you'll see both fullbacks back. So that's in what, about 11 days for Brighton. Yeah, and then obviously Spurs, you'd hope for them both to be back, because especially Conor Bradley, if he started team training and just overall training yesterday, so hopefully he will be fine as well. But yeah, chat, that was the Arne Slot press conference. We are going to go through some of his quotes. We are going to go through some of his quotes, and then I'm going to give you my lineup prediction and score prediction for the game. We'll just go to Devo C Cup for this. So yeah, these are Liverpool's remaining fixtures for the 2025. Sunderland, Leeds, Inter, Brighton, Tottenham, Wolves. Liverpool always finish a year strong. Always. Like, when was the last time Liverpool actually finished the year badly? Where they were like dreadful. We've always somehow managed to finish years very good. So I'm hoping for the same to be again. But obviously, we've got 6 games. 5 of them being in the Premier League. On paper, I look at 6 games and I'm thinking Liverpool should be winning at least 5. But based on current form, you'd probably back Liverpool to maybe win 2 out of 6. However, if we can go on this sort of run, I think if we beat Sunderland I think we go to beat Leeds, and then that's 3 out of 3. You got a bit of momentum there. You got some points on the board. You know, you got a bit more togetherness, a bit more of a tight group. The fans are somewhat, I wouldn't say fully back on board because, you know, you've messed up so badly. We've been so poor for the past couple of months. But if you go and win 3 out of 3, including within that West Ham victory, you go into that Inter Milan game with a bit of revitalized, a bit rejuvenated. And if you can just get a result out of that game, you then go into Brighton and you're thinking, hey, we're at Anfield here again, pick up another result. And then before you know it, you've kind of digged yourself out the hole a little bit from a perspective of, we've kind of gone a bit of a streak. And that's what I want to see. I know this Liverpool team is capable of going on a streak. Is whether they do it and whether this manager will revert back to type, or he's gonna do what he needs to do to save his job, because he does need to save his job. Let me go through some stuff. So yeah, Mo Salah has been confirmed he will go on the December the 15th to AFCON. Let me catch up with some of the chat messages. Frimpong updates. Yeah, so the Frimpong updates, I don't know if you're still here, Benjamin, is that Mo Salah, sorry, not Mo Salah, Frimpong will hopefully be back in training next week or the next couple of days. Conor Bradley is so far just came back yesterday. Big up to Danny Welbeck, West Ham, yeah. You think you beat Sunderland? I will obviously get into my score prediction. Big up to Jordan. We'll be fine without Mo. Not worried. We always do well when Salah goes away. Yeah. Salah isn't finished as LFC for life. I makes the system players around him, but that doesn't take anything away. He doesn't help himself. I completely agree. I completely agree with all three things: the system, the players, and Mo Salah hasn't, of course, helped himself in this situation. But well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. In the time being, React, do you think Slot will get 3 wins from 3? Do you think Slot will get 3 wins from 3 from 3? Time will tell, mate. I think, look, if we go and beat Sunderland, I think we go and beat Leeds. And would you be slotting again? So if Arne slot 1, Sunderland and Leeds, will I be slotting again? No. I wouldn't be slotting right now, mate. Big up to Andico. Hope you're well, my friends. Big up to Jacob. Big up, lads. How are you? I'm doing good, mate. Doing very good. I just thought I'll hop on, do the slot press conference because it's actually earlier one for once. I thought it would be a later one because normally when it's evening games, the press conferences are in the sort of evening, if you get what I'm saying, or afternoon. But no, I had a bit of time before I got to go to uni in about 40 minutes, so we can do another 20 or so minutes. But yeah, bless up to the chat. And then obviously once I come back from uni, I am going to be doing a show with Zia, also a watch along tonight. Slot said anything interesting? I mean, look, I won't say interesting, to be honest with you. Just kind of a real boring press conference. Funny enough, Reacts was not mad at the questions today. There were some decent ones in there. The most abused manager in the Prem, yeah, always big up to you, my friend. Smash the likes and subscribe. I'll stick with a winning team and just use just winning team. Use the 5 subs during the game to keep all fresh. Yeah, 100%. Big up to Wesley, bro. The good work rate better than I can say for Touchline, but he does good too. I don't know if I've ever seen Touchline do a morning stream before. Man, when are you going to chat about the Arsenal? Well, sorry to break it to you again, mate. Like, what we doing here? This is a Liverpool press conference. Bring one of your mates from uni, mate. Like, no, bro. What are we doing here, man? Where's... Yeah, people in the chat are already gunning for Wesley again. Shock. But no, let me go back. So yeah, Mo Salah is going to be going to AFCON on the 15th. I mean, look, that's no surprise, to be honest with you. He was always going to go within that time frame anyway. Actually, it feels a bit earlier, to be fair. Normally, Mo Salah plays the game before Christmas. Yeah, it's a bit earlier this year. This is obviously Arne Slot talking on the fans, and he has had to say this. Arne Slot, maybe I expect a bit more online abuse after the Forest game. Abuse is never a good thing, but I am not a social media person. But I'm not stupid. I'm aware of it. If you start to lose, you're aware people aren't happy with you. What I notice and feel is the support the fans give me in the stadium. Even at 0-0 at West Ham, the fans were singing for the team and for me. I mean, look, Arne Slot will always get some backing at Liverpool. No one condones abuse. I will always support the manager and always support the players. As long as they're showing conduct, respect to my club, performing and helping up the standards and doing what is meant to. Because if you're not doing your job, then I'm going to criticize you. I'm not going to abuse you. Hence why I've not called Slot no names. I've just said, I think it's time for maybe a bit of a change. That's all I said. So, you know, I will never come on here and start saying, oh, the Slot's this. That's not really my personality. If I have an opinion on somebody to that level of abuse and stuff, I'd rather just say it to their face, because it's just more of the man thing to do, as opposed to just say it online when you're probably never going to see that person. Hence why I just don't get happy people trying to abuse people when they come into your chat. So yeah, that's something that was said. Let's go through the injuries, what's being said here. Only because you lot were saying for all summer, mate. That's all, bro. If you lot, bro. Oh, Wesley, we 100% get your jokes, mate. We 100% get your jokes. I would have let Salah go early. I hope Slot can use Chiesa more on Frimpong when he's fit. Big up songs for K, my friend. So yeah, this is what the managers had to say on the injuries perspective. Hopefully Connor is available for Leeds. I actually missed that bit. I don't know why I didn't listen to that bit. But no, he's had. This is what he said. Connor got into team training yesterday for the first time. Not, I think, 100% yet. So we have to manage that. So don't get your hopes up too soon. Hopefully he's available for Leeds. I mean, that's absolutely massive. I actually think he would have done Connor a bit of time away. I'm not saying he needed time away from the club, but being injured, by the time he comes back, he would have been away for a couple of weeks. And I feel like that would have done really good for him to kick his ass back into gear. Now you've seen Gomez putting a really good account of himself in a good performance, knowing there is real competition going to be at that right back. Frimpong's going to be coming back soon with a point to prove after not really, struggling to get a foothold at this club so far, with injuries just holding him back. And you got Joe Gomez now, who again put on a good performance. So Bosley, Jones, there's so many players that can play that right back position. I think Conor Bradley should and hopefully will thrive on coming back to the club. And obviously, yeah, he also spoke about Frimpong as well. Expected to be back in training next week. So we expect the same with Jeremy next week. Unfortunately, we play a lot of games, so he'll miss a few. Hopefully Connor's fit for Leeds. I mean, look, Frimpong, I feel really bad for him, because I personally don't think he's been terrible when actually played. The injuries just haven't really helped. This is a player, by the way, who never got injured at Leverkusen and come to Liverpool. He's picked up back-to-back hamstring injuries within a space of a couple of months. I really like Frimpong, and I think he can be. I actually think he could be a main starter at right back. I really do. And I'm hoping to, when he comes back, he'll get a bit of a chance and he'll get a bit of a rhythm. I really, really hope so. Let's see what else has been said. Honestly, Mo Salah. What's this move? Honestly, Mo Salah being unhappy not starting against West Ham. Fair association, a normal reaction for someone who can't play for us. Of course, a player isn't happy. He isn't playing. He wasn't the only one, I could tell you. So yeah, I could definitely put probably Hugo Kitika in that bracket. You can definitely put Chiesa in that bracket. I think there's definitely a couple of more as well. The way he behaved was as you would expect from a professional he is. He was very supportive for the teammates and handled himself very well. You can play that everywhere. You can play well every 3 days if you go with your emotions, but Mo is disciplined. He will always be that top professional as he was for the last few days. I think Mo Salah is going to start against Leeds. As much as I would like to see, as much as I would like to see maybe, someone else, I think Mo Salah is going to start. I think Mo Salah is. I think Mo Salah is going to start against Leeds. That's what I'm persevering with, and I think. But no, bless up to everybody in the chat, man. So far, of you. How many likes are we on? 18 likes. Wow. Let's try and push for 2 more likes if we can. Chat. But no, that's no surprise for Mo Salah. Mo Salah will always be like that, though. Honestly, yeah, they're the stuff. I want to see if did Anfield Sector tweet out anything more as to what was said? Oh yeah, he also spoke about Isaac Gomez and Wirtz. I don't think they can play 3 times a 90 in a week now. I have to wait to see if they could be involved from the start on Wednesday. All 3 can feature in all 3 games. So all 3 of them probably will play a part, basically. It's whether he thinks they can play 90 and whether he thinks they can start. Where did I get to? I'd have to let Salah go early. I hope Slot can use Chiesa more on Frimpong when he's fit. 110%. I mean, look, I'm a massive Chiesa fan, but I just doubt it, mate. I really do. I think if Chiesa doesn't get an opportunity in AFCON, then I feel for him, man, because you know what? He's ditched the international side of things to try and play for this club, to try and play into this manager's hands. And that's why I feel bad for him, because he's got everything. He's shown tenacity, he's shown strength, he's shown the togetherness, he's shown the right mindset and mentality to play for this club. He's just been held back. It's like a dog on a leash. It's just like, bruv, just let me go, man. I feel sorry for Chiesa. If he doesn't get opportunities in AFCON, then I think, lucky enough, there'll still be weeks left of the window in January. If he doesn't get any opportunities or any starts in between AFCON, which when you've got some winnable games in there, I think, I am still slots in because I see them losses as a freak first and Slot. Hopefully we use precaution with Bradley's injury record 100%. Obviously, yeah, we know he's coming up from an injury. Frimpong seems highly strong, either in full flow or gets very shaky. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, Frimpong just seems like the type of player where if it's going well, it's going well. If it does not go well, he's getting flipping fried up. You know, I'm a massive fan of Jeremy Frimpong. When we signed him, I was actually one of the fans that actually understood the perspective of why we signed him. I just don't feel like he's been able to show that perspective side due to the injuries that he has, picked up. Full Irish / English for breakfast, best cue after a night out. Yeah, you can't beat an English breakfast, my friend. Serious question: how soon do you think Arsenal will wrap up the league? I think. Well, it depends on the other teams. I think I've changed my mind. I think Arsenal will go on to win the title. I mean, the earliest I've seen a football club win a league title is 9 games to go, 8-9 games to go, which was us. So, then the earliest you guys can win is April. I am thinking February. You're not going to win it in February that early. Hope you're well, bro, but we need to close the Arsenal. There's a football animation if you hit the like button. Yeah, there actually is. There actually is. Bro, are you just discovering the internet or what the feature has been there for a while now? What's he been saying here? Why are you waffling, mate, man? I don't know where I'm waffling. What perspective for the signing of Frimpong? No waffle, I need to hear you out. This is where you eat tactical. Bro, like I said, the reason as to why we signed Jeremy Frimpong, why wasn't it a good signing? Because the reason why I was happy with the signing, he offers many, routes that he can go down for us. We can go to a back 5, a back 3, a back 4. He can actually play in a back 4 quite well. People just seem to think he can't. Very highly attacking rated. I actually think his defensive due diligences are actually quite good. I actually think Frimpong is an all-round good player. A player can get into the box. He can play many other positions. And the contract, we're only paying 7 million quid a year over 5 years. I think for Frimpong's traits and qualities, to be paying 7 million quid over 5 years is fantastic business. Whether Frimpong gets the opportunities, and like I said, the perspective to show that was a good signing is obviously a different thing. Yeah, he's very good attacking, and he's going to do very well for Liverpool if he gets the opportunities. I just don't want to see him play as a complete right winger, as opposed to what some fans would actually want to see from what I've seen. But yeah, Isaac Gomez and Wirtz hopefully will be getting more 19s. Excuse me. Oh yeah, we've already gone through the Salah AFCON bits. What's this? Alisson's contract also expires at the end of the year, but Liverpool are expected to take up a 1-year option. They have to extend into 2027. Early talks over Dominic Szoboszlai's contracts have started, and similar discussions are likely to follow with Ryan Gravenberch. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano confirmed that we opened contracts for both, and obviously it looks like Szoboszlai is going to he's going to be signing the contract, so that's very, very good. Any other updates for us? No, that's just more Semania stuff, to be honest with you. We are going to save that for another stream. What happens with Konate will largely shape up how active Liverpool are in the search for another centre-back. Liverpool would like to sign Gehi, but the chances of that happening in January is slim. I completely disagree. I think Liverpool actually do sign Gehi. in January, in my opinion. Semenyo's joining the Arsenal. I mean, the only reason I just don't think you sign him because you've got too many players on the books in those sort of positions. I think you'll have to let a player go. And also, I believe Trossard signed a contract. Am I right in saying? I think there's other teams who are probably going to be in more of a chance as opposed to Arsenal. That's just my opinion. But no, chat, let's go through a lineup builder as to what I think will be the lineup, and then I'll give you my score prediction. 4-2-3-1. I mean, look, I think very much Trossard got an extension, so he can explore the deal he lined up in the summer. I think you meant disrespect Trossard. I think Trossard's a baller. But no, I think obviously in goal, very Van Dijk in goal. Very much picks himself. Alisson in goal. He's fit. He starts. Very simple. At right back, I do think we are going to see Gomez again. I just think if you are going to go Florian Wirtz in this team, and Mo Salah potentially does come back in this team, so Barca is definitely going to go further back. Therefore, I do think we will see, Joe Gomez at right back, who put up a very good account of himself the other day and got himself assist, and he looked very good. And hopefully he can provide the same. Again, at the centre halves, I mean, look, these are the positions that we just very much know. We haven't got anybody else. These are the only three centre backs, that we somewhat currently have. Leonie's out injured, so there's nothing we can really do there. We haven't signed Gehi as of yet, so yeah, there's no real complaints there. I mean, it's going to have to be. I thought Konate and Van Dijk were very good the other day, and hopefully they can continue that. At left back, I think you have to go Kirkesh again, in my opinion. I thought, again, put up a really good performance. And now, hopefully, he can get into this bit of a rhythm. For me, I would go Kirkesh for the next 2 games. And then you go Robertson for Inter. So then you just got that little bit of a break in between sections of games. And also just depends on the style of teams that we are just going to be overall coming up against. So I would go Milos Kerkez, and I think he can do another good performance for us, hopefully, against any choice at right back is a risk. We can only pray. Yep, 100%. 100%. In the midfield, I would... What do we go for in the midfield? I think the midfield very much decides what happens with the rest of the team. Because if Mo Salah plays, Sabazai is definitely playing. And if Wirtz and Salah definitely play, Sabazai is definitely going here. So who's going to partner him? Is it going to be Gravenberch? I think Slot will go this. And I think I just think Salah comes back into the team. I just don't see a world right now where Mo Salah just does not come back into this team. I just see a world where he does. I think Cody Gakpo, again, plays off the left. Again, people calling for Cody Gakpo's head. He got me a goal and assist, so I can't really too much complain, because by that logic, Gakpo was the one that won us the game, really. Got us the final goal. Also got us the assist for that Alexander Isak moment as well. So fully credit to him. In the 10, I'm sorry, there's only one man, Florian Wirtz. And then up top is Alexander Isak. That would be the team I think Slot is going to go for come tomorrow night. I mean, look, Alisson in goal, pretty just picks himself. Gomez, I want to see him play again. Van Dijk and Konate. Kirkes at left back, continuing potentially another back-to-back game for him, just building up that bit of a rhythm. And then Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. I think McAllister will be dropped. I don't think McAllister was too bad against West Ham, but right now, Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai are above Alexis McAllister in the pecking order. I think Mo Salah will be brought back in. I just can't see a world where Mo Salah's dropped for back-to-back Premier League games. As much as I would like to see maybe this, as much as I'd like to see that team, the exact same team that played against West Ham, or maybe even go Curtis Jones, as much as I'd like to see that, I just don't think the manager does that. Do you get me? So I'm basing that off what I think the manager will do. Because if it's up to me, I'll do what I just did. So yeah, that, and then obviously Florian Wirtz, Cody Gakpo, and Alexander Isak. I think Hugo Ekitike will be just fine. I think he'll just be first line. Hugo Ekitike will get loads of minutes. He'll get loads of starts at Liverpool. So this narrative that he should be concerned or worried, I don't know where it's really coming from. Let me big up to the chat, and then I've got to wrap up. Now, I actually don't think Semenyo joins me. Trossard, Allison looks washed. I disagree, to be honest. Any choice at right back we can only play? Yep. Big up to the men's. Hope you're doing well. Where's it under the right manager? I think you would, or do we having a prem the past 3 years? I agree. I think Salah starts. I agree. Brother, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Arteta's old truss around the neck and the whole of Arsenal, and that promise of the potential has all under a spell. I agree. I think Arsenal would have won way more trophies. I think Arsenal probably could have been a contender for the Champions League last year if they were to be set up right, because I think they would have beaten Inter in the final if they actually had a good manager that knows how to set up. CJ or Mac is the real choice in midfield. I think Mac did enough. Yeah, McAllister was very good the other day. I thought I was very happy for him. But right now, you probably do say those two are above. Big up to QT manager. Have a good one, chat, and for to see you all soon. Bless up to QT mods, man. Yeah, you have to keep me updated on your move to Liverpool, mate. You have to keep me updated. Yeah, QT mods is always here supporting Arsenal. You need to keep Arteta. Man, one of this Liverpool fans had me able to talk real footy. Man, I try and talk real footy with you, mate. You just come at me and call me names. So yeah, bless up to everybody in the chat. It's been a good stream, man. Good stream, reacting to the press conference, went through the team. I feel like this is what I'm starting to do more now. I think instead of just doing previews, because I find previews really boring. I think they're just very repetitive, in my opinion. I'd rather just do it within the press conference now. I think that's what I'm going to start doing a lot more. But obviously, I'm going to do more. I will do previews for the odd big games, but I think for just some games, I'm just going to be keeping it a buck. Let me look for someone to redirect to. Who is live? Who is live? I don't think anybody is live, if I'm being truly honest. Who can I redirect to? Yeah. I'll sort that out in a minute. Reacts bring the... I'll quit the gimmick. No offense, mate. I've stated many reasons as to why I would never bring my girlfriend on stream. I think, like I said, I think you're even clever enough to know that there is weirdos on the internet that will do such things, that will search her up, just all that sort of thing. It's not really up to me. It's about protecting my girlfriend's well-being and potential abuse. I'm not saying she'll get abuse, but the internet, we know what it's like. And I want to keep her away from that world, you know, because I know somebody, I'm not going to mention names because it's about respect, but I know somebody that brought on their girlfriend when they were doing YouTube content, and they found where her Facebook is, you know, start giving her abuse, all that sort of thing. That's why I keep it very much, you know, separate, and, you know, she understands that, because it's about protecting your loved ones at the end of the day. We can spam a Champions League, bruv. We ain't winning Champions League at this rate, mate. Don't mix personal life with the media. Yeah, 100%, man. Just keep it very separate. I think it's the best way to go. She's not a content creator, so she isn't signed up for that. Yeah, 100%, bro. 110%. But yeah, chat. I've got to go and get ready for uni because I got uni in about half an hour, so I need to leave in about 15 minutes. Looking if it's only down the road. So yeah, bless up to you all, and I will be back live after uni. I've got a show with Zia talked, and then a watch along tonight. So we've got 3 shows for you today. We're grinding them up for December. I told people this, and yeah, bless up to everybody. Big up to the men's. Big up to Wesley for coming in. Big up to Songs 4K. Big up to QT Mods. I know PL Champs was in here. Benjamin's in here. Uncle was in here. Danny, yeah, you was in here as well. TW was in here. Jordan was in here. So yeah, bless up to everybody, and have a good one. Hopefully 3 points tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully, bro. Hopefully. But yeah, bless up to everybody. Take care, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Peace.